Morning Form 1s, Form 2s and Form 3s. We are supposed to be doing our CA Test 2 this week, but once again school was interrupted by Corona. We administered the test on Monday with Mr. Tseko's 1E class and 3A, and we gave them instructions on how to start the still life design exercise which we have been covering all term. That is the basis of your CA test. Now, if school is open next week, you shall do that CA test immediately you come into class. We will take your still life designs and your sketch pads, and we will administer the still life design test. If school is closed, you are going to do the still life design test online, and we will expect you to take a photograph of it after the second period and send it to Mr. Tseko. Mr. Tseko is going to collect in all the CA test work. You should also send him your still life design exercise, and you must have it completed as much as possible by the beginning of your lesson next week. Right, now I want us to move on to the still life is based on the still life design exercise. Now, we gave you a number of instructions to follow. Draw the horizon. Draw a number of geometric shapes. Create 3D forms by moving some of the 2D lines to the vanishing point. But we found students did not follow instructions. We also encouraged students to create larger shapes, but many students did small, isolated shapes with no discipline of line, no discipline of shape or form. Some students, when they were asked to use the vanishing point, they were even putting lines through parts of their shapes and objects which would not even go to the vanishing point. It could only be the outline where lines should go to the vanishing point, not the inside of a pot. Again, some of you were taking all of your images to the vanishing point, and it created a chaotic environment, and lines were going through all your two-dimensional shapes. It made it very chaotic. Again, some of you, even after putting in the horizon, you are not drawing items properly. If it is above the horizon, we see underneath the shape. We don't see on top. If it's below the horizon, we must see on top of the shape, on top of the shape. Not that way. Again, some of you were getting the shape wrong. When it's supposed to be round, you're doing it flat. There was no style in your mapping of your lettering, your symbols, etc. So summing up, some of you did not even have the right materials. To start the exercise, you need basically a HB or a B pencil for light outlines for your basic mapping. You cannot use a dark pencil because when you come to correct it and rubbing out, the lines will still stay there in the background. If you're going to use a pen, a fine liner or a marker, you can never correct your mistakes. So you must be prepared when you write the CA test that you have the appropriate materials. A HB or a B pencil, one of those for outline. A 2 to a 6B pencil for shading. A ruler, a set square, a protractor, a compass, a sharpener, an eraser. If you don't have some of those materials, you must have a ruler, and if you don't have a compass, you must find objects which are round to draw around. Now, when we start the exercise, I want you to put in a 1.5 centimetre border all the way around. It's a warm-up for your mapping skills. After you've done your border, I want you to put in another border to make a frame, 0.5 centimetre or 15 millimetres. So we have 1.5 centimetres and 0.5 centimetre. That is your frame all the way around your A4 paper. You will be asked once again to draw the horizon and draw a line horizontally down the middle. Now, as it is in lockdown, we have more time to do the exercise properly and improve our mapping skills. The way to improve our mapping skills is to make a grid. You have your horizon, you create an upper horizon and a lower horizon. In the middle, you do your horizontal, a left horizontal and a right horizontal. That is all you need for a grid for basic mapping. And you keep the lines light. They are there for reference. Now, once you have done your grid, you are asked to draw 4 basic geometric shapes. Now, I want to go back here. You are drawing your shapes too small. You are not showing enough confidence. And therefore, you had lots of small shapes isolated in space. There was too much negative space and your designs were not interesting enough. So we want to solve that problem, and immediately you write the test. We want you to draw 4 geometric shapes: your triangle, your circle, your rectangle, your square. 2 objects must be in front of 2 shapes must be in front of the other 2 shapes. You'll see my circle is in front of the rectangle. My triangle is in front of the square. After mapping them out, I want you to erase your mistakes. There's no need for this line. I even put the horizon in the wrong place, so I've got to rub out the wrong one. I'm going to rub out all the lines inside my shapes. So I'm left with my 4 basic shapes. Having done my 4 basic shapes, I am now going to introduce some more signs, symbols, numbers and letters. You will see I've done the number 4 and I've done the letter G. Having put those in, I now start to think of adding more symbols and images, and now start introducing the idea of turning 2D shapes into 3D forms using a vanishing point on the horizon. You can use one vanishing point, or you can have many vanishing points, but have all the vanishing points on the horizon. Then you will get discipline and structure. You will get organization. Now, I've put my letter in, I've put my number in. Now I'm adding some more shapes, symbols and signs. To make the exercise a little bit more interesting, I want you to put a table somewhere along the bottom like this, and I want you to turn this upper horizon, the upper horizon, into a shelf. This is the shelf. There is the underneath of the shelf because I'm looking up. This is the edge of the shelf. I also want you to do the side of the wall. This is the side of the wall. Whoops. This is the bottom. This is the floor. This is the back wall. So I'm asking you to be prepared that when you come into class, you're going to do your CA test. Your CA test will be on the first 2 lessons covering this week, outline only. We're going to do another demonstration on shading consistent to one direction of light. When it comes to shading, you must be able to show that the side facing the light is the highlighted side. The side with its back to the light is dark, but it is not the darkest because light is still bouncing from above. The side facing down would be the darkest. The facing side would be a middle tone. So you're looking for the lightest area, a middle tone, and your 2 shaded areas. We want you to be able to demonstrate shading consistent to one direction of light, and we will administer that in the 2nd week. As soon as school opens, we want to see your outline only, and in the second part of the test, you'll be putting in your colouring or shading consistent to one direction of light. Okay, let's close.